Moving on, racket number 2, NAR had some pretty big moves at their annual conference. We're going to talk about 2 of those, Nicole.
No huge surprises, though. I mean, this has been on the horizon.
Yeah.
They have been, yeah.
Number 1, consumers will see the compensation offered to brokers. Okay, now we're giving you the Inman article that has 5 ways NAR's annual conference changed the future of real estate. And inside of those, there are breakout articles that you can go and check out like deeper information. So let's start with the first of our 2 top takeaways that we're talking about here from the NAR annual. All right, so this broker commission policy moves ahead after a close vote, which it got a little heated as it has in the past around this discussion, from what I gather reading the article. So the proposed policy reads this: MLSs must include the listing broker's offer of compensation for each active listing displayed on its consumer-facing websites and in MLS data feeds provided to participants and subscribers, and must permit MLS participants or subscribers to share such information through IDX and VOW displays or through any other form or format provided to clients and consumers. So it must permit them, allow them, these MLS users, to share that information. The information about the offer of compensation must be accompanied by a disclaimer stating that the offer is made only to participants of the MLS where the listing is filed, Nicole. But there's a big but in all of this. And that is that you can opt out. You don't have to post this. So some brokers, like Redfin does already do this. They went ahead and I believe somewhere in California went ahead and has done this already. So Redfin in those locations will post the buyer agent commission. So, but what you're going to have is, because of the ability to opt out of this as a broker on a website, the rule is they must permit it. They must allow it. It must be transparent, but it's not going to be on every website. So it's a little weird that you're going to see it on some and not others, from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I'm understanding this.
I'm having a hard time understanding exactly how you can opt out if it's being required on the sites.
Here's what it says on Inman. Per the new policy, brokers and agents using MLS feeds will not be required to display buyer broker commissions. So the policy's impact may be muted depending on how many brokerages decide against display. In addition, and it goes on, already 65 MLSs already changed their rules to allow public display of buyer agent commissions. Because basically, like, we can see on our MLS, we can see buyer broker commissions, right? Every MLS now must show buyer broker commissions. If there was some MLSs out there floating around that didn't do that already. Now, the MLSs must allow all brokers to be allowed, to be permitted to display. So 100% of MLSs must put this on there, right, and must allow all brokers to display it. But per the new policy, brokers and agents using these feeds will not be required.
All right. So it'll be shown on MLS, but not necessarily to the public.
And it will be shown in the public in some cases. And here's the other thing. Like, say brokerage A decides we're going to display. So they could display your listing, because that's an MLS listing. You're in brokerage B. Okay. Right. I'm in brokerage A. You're in brokerage B. Okay. I decide on my website I want to display, so I can display your listing, right, and the buyer's compensation on your listing. On your website, you're not displaying. Okay, so now does that attract more buyers to my website? Is that why I would do this? I'm going to be getting more traffic on my website. That makes you, broker B, say, you know what, I got to do this now. Everybody's got to do it, because I don't want to miss out, consumers going to that website as a clear advantage for more information, for more transparency.
More transparency, yep.
right? I mean, that's the argument here, is that it's going to be more transparent. I mean, if you read the Inman comments, there's a lot of people that are commenting about this one. As an exclusive buyer broker, I don't care who sees my commission. But then you've got other people saying, well, here's what's going to happen is every time they're going to call the listing agent direct and say, hey, I know what you're offering to them. Why don't you kick that to me? Kick half that to me. I want a rebate. I'll work with you direct. So there's a lot of that argument going.
And then this guy Jordan is like, let's break it all down. Let's see, like, maintain licensing, brokerage splits. I'm like, holy hell. Yeah. Let's
break it all. Well, it's interesting because it's like, okay, you're going to show the buyer compensation, but you're not going to show the listing compensation. What I think is an amazing rule that they made, and it's tied to this, is that you are not, and this was stupid for people that did this anyways, you are no longer allowed as an agent to say, my services are free. I'm a freebie over here. Work with me because you're not paying for it. Like, that was the most pathetic position a buyer agent could ever take, is work with me because it's free. I have no other value to show you.
Right.
Other than it's free. You can't say that anymore, because this is part of educating consumers that buyer agents are not free. Now, if you feel like you can see 2.5%, 2.5 bananas on the feed, on a listing feed, and you're like, well, my buyer agent's not worth that, so I'm going to go get a new agent that is worth that, or I'm going to renegotiate, because a consumer can negotiate their fee to the buyer agent. It is very interesting. It will lead to more negotiation. It will lead to people reaching out directly to listing agents and negotiating directly with them too. Listings are the power, always have been, and certainly will be because of this. Sure.
And because of the next one as well.
Yes. So the next big takeaway here is NAR passes listing attribution policy. So what is this? After stripping this proposal of most of its controversial aspects, NAR approved a policy on Monday to require the display of a listing broker's phone number or email address next to listings on agent and broker websites. So going back to agent, broker A website, I've got your broker B listings on my IDX website, whether it's Boomtown or Sierra Interactive or any of the names out there, right? Yep. I've got to now put your broker B phone number or email on that listing, as opposed to just saying broker B. Like, a lot of times people will just say broker B has the listing, but they don't actually put the contact information. So now if I'm putting, 2.5 bananas for the buyer, here's broker B, here's her phone, here's Nicole's phone number. Oh, I'm just going to call Nicole. I'm going to try to get me one of those bananas, one of those 2.5 bananas, work with Nicole direct. That could happen for sure. I could see that.
For sure.
What do you think of that? Posting the listing agent's number and or email. It's not and or, it's or. So they could post either one.
It's or. I mean, honestly, obviously, if you're a listing agent, that's really what you've always hoped. You've always been pissed that, a buyer's agent is coming through, even within your own office, because you're like, I think that lead would have been mine if they just were able to contact me directly. So, again,
question as a competitor.
Yes. Like, what do you mean? Like, you and I are competitors because you're A and I'm B?
Oh, because we're doing the A and B. I should have been B because I'm Byron.
I figured I was B because you're obviously always
I'm an A player.
Well,
is that where you were going with that?
No, because I'm always like 1B. I'm just always second in line.
Are you sad today?
I feel great today.
All right, good. No, as a competitor, say you're like, okay, I have the choice, phone number or email. Which one are they going to answer slower and less? So the question is, an agent is going to answer an email or a phone call slower.
Is it the brokerage's phone number or is it the
that'll depend on your
agent's phone number?
I believe, and in the comments if I'm wrong, I believe the broker is going to have the option to put, I think it's going to be the agent in most cases.
You do? Because most brokerages
Listen,
want all of the leads to go to them.
Zillow supported this. If you read into the Inman article, Zillow was fully supportive of this. And my guess is Zillow supportive of this if they know that it's going to be the broker's email. I mean, an email, like for you send an email to just like, you know, CB, like good, you know, like I'm not picking on them. I'm just saying like a big box brokerage. Good luck getting an email back. Like, who's the email going to? The manager?
Right.
That's ludicrous.
But if you go on to Ravis's website, though, the phone number does go directly to the Ravis call center. So
the call center. They have a call center, yeah.
Yes.
And so
they're scrubbing the leads before they're giving it out to the agent.
Now, here's what's hilarious, right? Is Zillow was fully supportive of this. If they know it's going directly to the brokerages, that's why they're fully supportive of this, because brokerages are not going to be as equipped as the top 10% of agents at contacting these leads. I just don't care, you know, what brokerage you're talking about. The top teams in the country have their internal ISA teams. They're on it. It's the reason why like Zillow Flex is partnering with them and that kind of stuff. If it's going directly to the agent, though, now you're getting to that same dilution of like every agent that has a listing. What are they answering faster? The majority of agents, email or phone? Oh, because phone you can text or call.
Well, but that's interesting though too, because if you click though on Zillow, because most times people don't want to talk to an agent, and that's why Zillow works. You click the thing because you want more information, which then is sent as an email to an agent.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real Word, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.